Hi, you guys. How are you? I wanted to jump on earlier. I really wanted to give you guys a time. I could not. I needed to wait until my son arrived home safely. It's snowing outside and he came home a day early. So that was the little delay there. And so, my goodness, a lot of stuff has happened. Yes. A lot has shaken down. There are a variety of things that I want to share with you guys. Remember, we got to pace ourselves, okay? One day at a time. We're like a reborn nation. You have a newborn. You go from elation and the good news, and then you get home and you're exhausted and you're like, I signed up for what? And it gets overwhelming. We are a blank slate, you guys, in many regards. We have so much untapped potential, and we have so many things from our past that has been released. We have obstacles and things that have just kind of disappeared. And so things are going to be moving differently. The energies are very, very, very different. So I would like, on behalf of all the readers, give your readers a break. Your psychics, your people that your intuitives, your empaths, because they're getting bombarded by so much. Like, I don't know how the rest of them are doing it. It's just, I've really had to kind of batten down the hatches and shut stuff down and just really stay in my clear space. It's very interesting. I think, you know, different readers, their guides shield them from different things. And that's like there's a lot of reasons why we get different information that we share with all you guys. But for me, one thing has been very, very, very consistent that I can't ever see. Like, it was like, yeah, I know there's a likelihood of war, but I could never see it, if that makes sense. There are certain times I get into certain areas I'm not allowed to see. Well, yeah, like Speaker Pelosi would, I would see her hand, I'm trying to peek in what they're doing, and I would just get those scrawny fingers go up like this, up against my eyes and can't look type of deal. Okay. So there is a lot that we are sifting through. Let me say hi to you guys. Hi, Michelle and Mama Bear and Nancy Lee, JK, Paisley, Deseret, Jan, Cartomancy, Pamela, Clarence is in the house, Shockwave, Carla, Candy, Teresa, Tyra, Julie, Linda, Dream, it's yours, Bonnie, Ellen, Candy. I think I've said hello to everybody. Yes, I'm actually getting really warm. I think I have to take off my sweatshirt. You guys, okay, I need to bounce this story off of you guys because you guys have watched me over time. I'm so hot. Like, you guys know how much I love hockey since 1980. But I'm noticing a strange timeline. It's really cool, but it's also kind of like, what is going on? I'll try to sum this up. So you guys know I love hockey. I fell in love with hockey in 1980 when the United States beat Russia. I still remember that. Can you believe it? That, it's I can't even remember now the quote, but with the countdown when they win that game. That historic game in 1980, it's supposedly like the most important sports moment in U.S. history. Can you believe it? I can't believe I can't remember what he said. But so that's when I fell in love with hockey. I was like 5th or 6th grade. That tells you how old I am. And it was such, if I think about it, I can still, that very visceral reaction deep within me, that I was just so overcome with joy and feeling elated and the release. And I didn't know what was going on in our nation politically. That stuff you don't know about as a kid. But so after that, then we got season tickets for our local NHL team, and then I went to hockey, then went to college, then we had to give up the tickets. But I never got to play hockey growing up. I always loved it. So, fast forward, around the millennium, I think it was like the 2002 Olympics in Utah, I was able to watch hockey again. We didn't win. I don't know if that's the one we lost. I think maybe we lost both of them to Canada. I don't care. I love the Canada-USA rivalry in hockey. But, so like hockey was trickling back in. Then I got my kid into hockey, which I was like crazy about because I'm like, there was no place to play hockey when I was growing up, and now there are youth hockey teams all over the place. So fast forward a little bit more. So there's this Russian background. In 2018, that fall, so now we're playing varsity hockey. That fall, 2018, the team manager has to step down because of medical issue, doesn't even want to take it on. And I really wanted to take it on, but I was really worried about my head injury and being able to organize myself in like a team and families and all these people I don't know. Because if you just mess up like one digit in a time for like a game or a date for a game, I mean, that's really bad. That's really bad. So I was like, but 2018, it was such a weird time. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I am going to be their best manager because these are such awful, crazy times. I want to have a sacred space for our team. If there's something I can do for America as a patriot is to be this upcoming generation, be their manager, and be an adult who adores and just throw love on them because everyone's stressed out. Everyone's stressed out. This is a sacred space. And so that is how I imagine myself, is helping them have this wonderful space in these horrible times that was just about them and hockey, right? So then fast forward, my kid, graduated 2020, but the hockey season ended in March, abruptly, horribly, so sad. So awful. I always say that they lost that game at state and the world ended because that was a shutdown. Then we moved. We didn't get to say goodbye and we left. I didn't get to say goodbye to my seniors or congratulate them. And so the next year, last year, the coach was still trying to put hockey together, but the league was canceled. There was no hockey. There was no state championships. It was horrible, awful. And I tried to be as supportive as I could because I knew all the boys, some of them graduated. So this year, here this team is again, who went undefeated this season. Unfreaking defeated this season. Just magic every time you see them on ice. Oh, let me back up a little bit. Because last January 6th, 2021, I did the quarter moon live that night, January 5th. And I was really, really excited. I was wearing my USA hockey jersey because the boys, the juniors, World Juniors Championships had just finished I think it's in Helsinki, Finland. And the USA team won. And I know two of those boys who were on that team. And I was just flying so high on that energy. And I'm like, you guys, I just had that little bit of that taste of normalcy for our nation and just perfection, that everything would be okay. I felt really good. Well, I did that live that night, and the next day we had the insurrection. I did kind of mention that, there's going to be like maybe some terrorism, but it was harder for me to pick up on what was happening the following day because I was just flying so high, right? So now this weekend, they had to play in a best of 3 series for the championship. And so they played last night, they played Monday night, they had a semifinals earlier. But last night, perfection again. They shut the team out, they won 3-0. It was so incredibly exciting. And I told the team, I'm like, you guys are giving me closure because 2020 sucked so badly. I hope you guys can win this championship in 2 games because I can't go to the 3rd game. And they won last night. A championship. And then while they're winning, like, there's this invasion by Putin. And I'm like, what is going on with me and hockey and winning championships and attacks, invasions, war? But my love started when USA defeated the Russians in 1980. I know that's a really long story, but I just wanted to bounce that off you guys because it's really weird. So I'm like, so if anybody wins the championship that I like, we got to be careful of geopolitics. I don't know, but that's just very, very strange. Very strange. Okay. How are you guys doing? I need a drink really quickly. Queen, U.S. Congress sending a subpoena to the NFL about the investigation into... Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Okay. So that was just that one thing I had to get off my chest. Yes, undefeated. It was amazing. Yes, do you believe in miracles? Lake Placid, New York. Yes, and I got to go to that Lake Placid arena back like in 1998, and I cried. I cried outside that arena. You guys, I'm pathetic. But it was amazing. I love these boys, and I'm glad that I could be that bridge of normalcy through this chaos and with those families, because our touchstone is always positive and good. Okay, so do you guys see this? I just found this out before I went live. The Ukrainian flag is blue and yellow because the blue represents the blue skies, the yellow to represent their golden fields of wheat. I mean, wow. I was just blown away by that. I mean, how perfect and elegant and simple. So there are many things I want to talk with you guys about. I will tell you, we had our quarter moon on the 23rd. Was it yesterday or the... I need to look. Here. I've also moved a lot of my stuff downstairs, so I do feel a little bit... I gotta turn on this light. A little bit out of it. But we had this quarter moon, and we had it was at 5 degrees. Here we go. The sun was at 5 degrees Pisces. It was at 5:32 in the evening. So it was over here in the west, the sun setting. This has to do with your partner or your opposition. And the moon was down here in the 4th house. It likes to be here. In Sagittarius. Lands far away. Faith. Optimism. Rule of law. We've got a lot of red lines here. So this was at 5 degrees Pisces, Sagittarius. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, well, that's interesting because, one, Donald and Putin and the others hide their crime behind the guise of Pisces, because Pisces is so expansive. It is endless. It's the end of the zodiac. So it's like Pisces needs to gently take everything in and love it and heal it before it passes the torch to Aries in a new zodiac season. So Pisces is ruled Jupiter, modern day Neptune. Neptune is that haze and that confusion, that cloud, where these guys like to gaslight, move the goalposts and say you're doing one thing, do another. The lies, the creating the illusion. So that is one thing they do with this sign of Pisces. The other thing they do when the moon is in Sagittarius, this is where Donald and Putin do their most collaboration. This is where these two, especially Donald, gets over his skis and gets ahead of himself, and it's overkill. He overreaches. So that is what I was, when I saw this and then saw what happened, I was like, oh. The other thing these two do with this sun-moon combination is that they get things revved up so big and so high that it's unsustainable. It's like a big poof, you know? And then where's the backup? How are you going to hold this up? And then things start to fizzle. And then like we would get these, we would get these big blow-ups of stories and things. And then we'd, things would get quiet. The GOP Donald wouldn't talk about it. The media wouldn't talk about it. And then it was on to the next big thing to get everything riled up about. That was the cycle over and over. So not only do we have this, we just had our Pluto return a few days earlier where the moon was in Libra. Now it had moved into Sagittarius. So this is the first lunation that really activates that Pluto return. And if you noticed, I was kind of on a high on Sunday with that Pluto return because that energy felt incredible coming in. To go from that couple days later, and it's like this, we have this war thing going on, very different. Very different. There was a second thing I wanted to say about it, and it totally escapes me. I totally forgot. So, those two things. There's so much I want to say. What was it? Okay, I'm just going to keep going. How are you guys doing? Hi, thank you, Linda. Thank you very much. Yeah, our news is still moving. It's still moving on. Now, the other thing, you guys, I know it is hard. I had tweeted this earlier. Part of our Pluto return is feeling raw and feeling vulnerable like a baby. We are so brand new. Things are raw. We're in a new set of circumstances that our sensors are out there where they used to be inhibited and kind of categorized. Those boundaries have been released. And so it's like we also have this whole new world of information that we're able to take in that we couldn't do before. And that's because in the USA chart, we have, like here, see this is an interception. At this quarter moon, we have, for example, this sign Gemini in the 10th house. But the 10th house starts in Taurus and it ends in Cancer. Gemini is intercepted here, meaning it can do its work, but it really needs to wait for a lunation. It's kind of got to wait its turn because it's not able to freely express and communicate with everything else. It's got to wait for kind of these gates to open. So Gemini and Sag are intercepted here, which to me, this kind of feels like we've got a plan. This is what we're going to do, and not straying from it and just communicating it and not being upset about anything, because it's almost like what you're communicating and your rules of law here, Sagittarius, the silver lining is that it's not that it makes you untouchable, but it provides a barrier from being influenced by other things because it's intercepted. It's like you make your decision, we're going to stick with the plan. Okay? So in the United States chart, in our 10th house, we have Libra, but it's the 10th house is intercepted. For example, here, this 7th house is intercepted. It begins and ends in Pisces. So the work these planets are going to do here, again, they can only really do it in this area under these terms with this person and when this kind of hands off some information. So in the US chart, we have Saturn, scales of justice, intercepted at the top of our chart, which, thank God, because if it wasn't, Donald he could have wrecked it easily. But because it was contained, it wasn't that easy to totally destroy it, okay? So what that does for the psyche, for we the people, is, yeah, we have opinions on justice. We have opinions of the individual, and people have been rather stuck in what they believe is fair and what is their right. See what I mean? That interception can really keep you stuck. The Pluto return has nothing intercepted. The whole thing is open for dialogue. So what I'm saying is everything is changing. Everybody's thoughts and ideas of who they are as an individual, as their rights and responsibilities, and how the justice system works, that's been rewritten. And the thing is, now it's free. It's not intercepted. We can actually have dialogue with people that we disagree with. Remember at the Pluto return, the oracle card was the peacekeeper. It wasn't about being right. It was about letting the truth prevail. But your job was to make peace with yourself and one another. And the sun was over here, and that had like the magic, letting the magic work. Both of you. So this is a time now going forward in our nation. It's going to be easier to have discussions of differences, but we'll be better able to keep the peace. And holy cow, we're watching an invasion, and could that be drummed up anymore? Everybody on the same page wanting peace. I can't believe how on the same page everybody is about what they're seeing and what's happening. And the people who are trying to defend it are just sticking out like a really, really, really badly, right? How are you guys doing? Yeah, Abbott is target. He's doing a lot of bad things over there. They are desperate to fight for things to go back the old way. And now look what happened to Putin. What's happening overseas, Florida, Texas, cables, satellites, transmissions, comms, foreign, not allies. They're still trying to coordinate all that stuff, and they are desperate to keep their hands on power. But here's the thing. We had our Pluto return. There's been a shift. That also means our Department of Justice that has to do with the scales of justice gets a shift out of being stuck. We have talked a lot, or so others have talked about, democracy takes a long time. You guys, it's going to now speed up, in my humble opinion, because we are not going to have these things that are stuck the way they've been. Okay, what up? There's something else I want to talk about. This is back to the USA Pluto return. I should probably look at... See, this is what I was talking about, the US chart. The top of the chart are scales of justice. There's Saturn. Saturn loves being in Libra. Gosh, I just love it. The asteroid Biden is 10 Libra leads Saturn by 4 degrees. It's conjunct. But so this is why it would take so long. Notice how last time I talked about this, we had Aries on the bottom here, what we're rooted in. Well, this is being on the frontier. This is about, I can't believe Illinois used to be considered the frontier. As I'm watching this special on Abraham Lincoln, oh my gosh, on History Channel, 3 parts. Amazing, 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 amazing. I loved it so much. But that really gave the essence of the individual and the battling that was going on, not only during the Civil War, but the American Revolution. We were born into Aries. Hello. New birth, new beginnings, the first sign of the zodiac. New. And it's ruled by Mars. Fight, 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 fight. Justice and laws. We have these ideals to be a more perfect union. Those are in the skies above us. But we've kind of had enough of that. We're done. Because our Pluto return has flipped this. We have Aries at the top of the chart. What's in the skies above us? Individuals. But now we've got Taurus here. And what do we value as individuals? What are our assets? Who are we made of? Because now we're grounded in the scales of justice and the moon is there. And that's where we, the people, will always, always be for like the next 250 years, okay? This has been a massive, massive flip. The other thing that really, really is going to matter going forward, we have Mercury on the ascendant. The ascendant is 23 Cancer. USA Mercury is 24 degrees Cancer. So above else, everything else is the way we communicate. Use our words in Cancer for our home, for our nation. Our contracts, who we make our contracts with, who we decide to lead. Hello, Leo. That's going to become so much more important. That is like the thing. Mercury is kind of the thing that is our guiding, the thing that's giving us life in this chart. It's conjunct the ascendant, how we meet the world. Our vitality is the Mercury and the Sun. I love that. I love that so much. When I did this tarotscope, I believe I didn't do it with you guys. In the skies above Washington, D.C. for our Pluto return, there's that sacrifice card. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, we're going to war. There's going to be war. There's going to be death. And I think this was like the day after. So like Monday or Tuesday. So it was before the invasion. But I saw that. I love that at the bottom, what we're grounded in is stability. Anxiety. There's anxiety. Are we going to have stability? Here, the 5th house of the sun, POTUS. The 5th house, creativity. POTUS, our leader, their powers. Our public servants, the 6th house routine, the astrology card came up. This is about getting everything in order. The 7th house, your opposition, your partner, fire and desire. We want to get this right. We definitely want to get this right. Our shared resources at this Pluto return going ahead. What's our life purpose? What's our life purpose? The 9th house, lands far away. We have to deal with the Grand Cross provoker. This is also dealing with extremists. Here, abroad, but also provoking our laws to make sure they cover everybody. These are our alliances, our friends, our wishes. It's the world. We see what you're doing. The whole world is like on the same page as friends, watching what's happening. The secret at our Pluto return, we know who we are. The hidden enemy is we know our substance. We know who we are. That can be weaponized against us, but it's really solidified here. Now, the other thing, you guys, the other thing I didn't get to share with you as I did this, whatever before the invasion, the best I can pick up on this, and I didn't have a whole lot of time, is that Vice President and POTUS, we're getting some very specific details in order about comms and what they really wanted to have happen. And this was working out on a global level. In fact, when I was looking at our quarter moon chart then, it is so fascinating. And I wish I could tell you this like I was seeing it last night as it unfolded. But between both of these charts, I was getting really, really clearly, it was almost spooky, that whatever we're working on to counter this invasion that we can't see yet has been in the works for a very long, I think since POTUS was probably like vice president, because he had his security clearance. And it was to the point where I'm throwing cards and it's like, I can almost see that even though he left, there was still a dialoguing going on with intel agencies. And not only did POTUS still have a security clearance, so did Obama, so did Clinton, and both Bushes, and Jimmy Carter. And I was getting the sense that there was a really profound look at what was going on legally, what they could plan for in their worst case scenario, and whatever is working on now, like this foundation has been laid for a long time. And this is really important. I feel like I need cards. I just feel, I haven't been in my office. I've been downstairs. Wow, that's just weird. I got really, really clearly, because of this astrology card, about the air communications. This is what we value at this quarter moon. It's like intercepted, oh God, this is it. It's like intercepted communications, and we have that Eight of Pentacles. That is like the machine that Houghton and also 45, the former guy, had to pump out the propaganda, the attacks, just the machine that they had going in like troll farms and people who are spreading that stuff. Well, so that was the astrology cards. And then on top of it, when I did the cards, I had the King of Cups there. Where's this King of Wands? The King of Wands. So you guys know how I've always said, like, the King of Wands is angry Putin. You guys, it's G. Oh my gosh. I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in forever because so much has happened. But you guys, there's so much China behind this app. I know that we say Vlad's, the boss of bosses, is Semyon. I think China is right there because, their economy sucks. They're gotten sanctioned. And Putin, sorry, and your intel services, they are so freaking sloppy. They are so sloppy, just like 45 was, that there is no way they could pull all of this off so clandestine that now it's happening. I'm telling you, Vlad is not capable. Neither is the Russia because they're so freaking sloppy. But you know who is stealth? China. So this King of Wands, I've, in the past said angry Putin, or maybe it was MBS. This is G. So when I am looking at this quarter moon that we had, the astrology card has the air comms. That's communications. And this is what we value, our substance. The King of Cups, Putin the puppet, reversed. And the King of Wands, Xi. We have some sort of intercepting thing that cuts right through them and their comms. It replicated like with General Milley and the Joint Chiefs and other defense stuff, this consistent theme of having comms interrupted. So when I started looking, I was like, did a tarotscope for satellites. I did a tarotscope for telecoms. And I did another one for like those apps, like, Donald's app is just failing miserably all over the place. And it's all connected. I don't know what they're doing. Obviously, they know. But even from like satellites, I don't know whose satellites, but somehow we are way, way in deep, all over the place. I mean, we know about that one app, which just seems like nothing compared to everything else going on under the surface. Like, okay, so the Operation Trojan Shield, the ANOM app, like on your device. It's like that app, like if you're looking at your screen, you're looking at all your apps, that would be, and remember, they have like 25 million intercepted texts on this. You know, that would just be like the clock setting your alarm on your device. But what they have in the system that they've had set up for a long, like I feel like something's going to get activated and it's just like, boom, everything goes. Everything is just shut down and cut off. It's really kind of eerie because I could see, and then, so that's that. You guys, could you even imagine if we were still in Afghanistan? I mean, think about that. It was such a shock for us to pull back by, I'm just going to throw some cards while we talk about this because I was floored by this idea. So, Tarot, show me. Okay, you know what? I'm going to get some markers because I'm going to forget what I'm throwing on. So, my pretty fabric. Let me move this over. How are you guys doing? I have not been able to watch any news. I don't really want to watch the news because it's so yuck. And we need people to keep their energy up so we can keep our eye on the horizon and just carve out a path of well-being and miracles and goodness. Because I can't even imagine the pressure POTUS is under, much less, everybody else. They just need to be. Here, I'm going to put that right there. Oh my gosh, I feel so out of my element because I've not been in my office. Like, I don't know how things work up here anymore. I don't know. I might move downstairs permanently. We'll see. So, so this is us there. We withdrew by, this was during the double, I'm telling you guys, the double full moon in Aquarius over the summer was monumental. And we just had a full moon in Leo opposite this. This represented the transfer of cosmic power. And look how that has shaken out even this past week with our Pluto return, shaking all of this up again. So could you even imagine if we were still in Afghanistan? Because those guys, they, how much money has the defense lost through this war and others that's not accountable because they're paying mercenaries and other people just threw money at them. And now what's the problem that we have? Yes, we have not talked in a long time. We had that breaking news this week about Credit Suisse. That whistleblower. They are so in deep with the billions of dollars that went through there, through sanctioned nations, through corrupt governments, where things are being laundered. This is also huge. Obviously, we haven't been able to talk a lot about that this week. But I can't even imagine if we were still in Afghanistan, because when I was thinking about that today, I realized that was the plan all along. Keep us there forever, then have this happen with Ukraine, and it would break our military and force USA the humiliation of having to hire mercenaries to do the rest of the work, right? That's my hypothesis, and so that's what I want to look at, because I have not been able to look at that yet. NORAD is at DEFCON 4. Okay. Okay, so show me us in Afghanistan. This is us in Afghanistan. This is us pulling out. Oh, they were so mad that we did this. The GOP freak. This is us pulling out. This was the plan for us to stay. What if we stayed in Afghanistan? And I'm not talking about USA's plan. I'm talking about Pooty. Oh, wow. So, pull out if we stayed. If stayed. This was Vlad's plan. Okay? But this happened. We pulled out. I feel like I need another deck. This was a hard deadline. I find it interesting. Oh, I'm going to zip my mouth because that story was shown to be from 2014. Anyway, this is why Biden pulled out and stuck with it. This is why he pulled out. Because he knew, Link, he knew it's Four of Pentacles. This is beyond stability. This is like being attacked. This is like pillaging and stealing and taking what you want. Like an invasion. I'm going to take what I want. So, this is what the plan was then. POTUS pulled out because he knew this, this, and this was going to happen. Now, with Ukraine. That's the reason why, and it relates to now how. And then this was Vlad's plan if we stayed, okay? He was counting on, oh my gosh. And his challenge right now, because we're not there, Page of Pentacles. All those pages, all those minions, those people running around with things of value. Minerals, resources. I'm getting more minerals, resources. And that what was happening now, the Lover's card, is an agreement between two nations. Kings are usually the heads of states. This is two nations. The Mercenary. There's that Knight of Pentacles. I'm going to say that's Don Julio and China. They had their master plan with Afghanistan. So this is, so over here, we have the Emperor. What is this? Nope. This is President Biden making a decision, pulling out of Afghanistan. This has been like military, this has been like agencies. We're done here. We're not paying you guys any more money for your quote services. And that's the decision that he made. This is a final decision. So this is us in Afghanistan. Oh my gosh. All that money, all those resources just tumbling out, just being squandered. It's everywhere. And now we've got data and crypto. What a behemoth of stuff of 20 years, the money, the people, the lives, oh my gosh, the contractors, and then the terrorists, and then people getting paid. The Five of Cups, big disappointment. We were there for way too long. And this also represents everything we tried to get done that was incomplete. But being there and pulling out. Okay. Biden pulls out. Down here. Oh, that's weird. He planned to do that. This was a work of expertise. This was very skilled planning. And I know that our pulling out was kind of shoddy, But I realized the other night that was okay. There was a plan related to that. I don't think they saw that it was going to happen this fast, but it helped the overall cause, okay? So us pulling out, we're going to get out quickly. The scales of justice, because it's just and right. It's been too long. Oh my gosh, there goes my throat. I can't even talk. You guys, you know, I'm hovering over something. Because there is some sort of conspiracy going on. A 3 of Cups that needs to be broken out. Okay. Oh my gosh. Can I see who this conspiracy is with? Show me who's in the conspiracy. An indicted FOTUS. Who's involved with this conspiracy? An op. That is intelligence. That is like, I want to say like malware. Holy crap. The conspiracy is from 45, giving Putin what he really, really wants. This is China being able to, like a dagger to the heart to the United States. So that's a conspiracy. He freaking knew what was going on, okay? And so the big plan, though, like if we stayed, which they really wanted us to do, was the Knight of Pentacles, mercenaries, drain our resources, drain our military, devastate the morale of our generals and leaders, and force us to play defense, weaken our defenses by spreading us too thin, and that would be the dagger for our military. That's what they want. Really? The dagger for our military, because the transnational mob wanted payment. So that was the plan, but we pulled out. Thank God. So this is also that double full moon, but these are the main reasons why Biden's like, we're out of here. Quickly, we got to get out of here really, really fast. Quickly, quickly, quickly. I've thought about this a long time. Oh my gosh. This is artillery flying in the air. I think he knows. What is this flying in the air? What is this? There were some secret talks, preconceived ideas and notions. We were going to be undermined. We were going to be undermined in other ways. Wow. And these are supports because of what Donald promised. What did Donald promise? What did Putin promise? Oh, good news. Nope. Page of Cups. This is like staging what you want. Oh, we caught this on intercepts to the Queen of Pentacles. For remember, they wanted to create their new nation of raiding Afghanistan's riches. So the Queen of Pentacles was their like new little oligarchy country. This also represents January 6th, the new oligarchy USA. And the third reason, this is what Biden showed up with this week, the 7 of Swords, having your eye on the ball, but things are getting shifted around. He doesn't want anyone to know what the United States is doing with our intelligence, but keeping eyes on the horizon. This isn't stealing something. This is a change in plans and stealth. We got to act quickly. Because this was coming in quickly because on a world level. This is a global thing. And Putin. This was the end of the cycle because he knew this was the end. because as it relates going to Ukraine, the present, Vlad wants Ukraine. The Knight of Cups, what was offered, promised with this new nation. It was going to be a fight, a lot of conflict. It was going to make life miserable. We would have been devastated because going ahead in time to the present now with Ukraine, there's the Five of Cups. That's China and Russia taking stuff in disguise as one or the other. Third thing, we got to go. I got my eye on the horizon, but we got to change things up quickly with a new plan because he knows what's going on with Ukraine. Because of Xi. Everyone's talking about freaking Putin. It's freaking Xi, you guys. I am telling you, he is such a major, major, major player. Okay, and over here, these cards, this, because his grand plan then, now, present day, Vlad, Five of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune. This has been a China card because they're the ones who are in charge of timing. But I feel like this is shutting Ukrainians out of their government, taking it over. You guys think that's unfortunate, but now Vlad's challenged now because we pulled out of Afghanistan. Ho is getting what he wants. Remember, Donald would always give him what he wanted. This Ace of Cups, I always kind of thought of it as like handing over USA sovereignty. Vlad's problem right now is he can't get what he wants. You hear me? This is about Ukraine. He cannot get what he wants. Hello, Pluto Return. The second thing, right now, fast forward to Ukraine, and why we got out of Afghanistan, and what Vlad wanted to settle and finally get his hands on Ukraine. And that was the plan. And guess what? We only have these two pip cards. This was not well thought out. You know why it wasn't well thought out? Because Biden pulled out rapidly. He can't get his plans and decisions going. Oh, and speaking of can't get your plans going, I was surprised that there was this timing to invade, because I'm like, you picked a third quarter moon? You picked a third quarter moon to invade. Okay, if you want to create something and have it manifest and grow bigger, you do that, at least by the quarter moon, before the full moon. No, he initiated this at the third quarter moon. Like, you can't really grow a whole lot here and make some plans because you're on the downside of this lunation and the growing energy. This is getting you nowhere but back to the darkness and having to another week like kind of flounder before you get a new moon in Pisces, to get to a new moon in Pisces where you can grow something big and then like have the best State of the Union speech ever. That's so too is going to be amazing. So that's the other crazy thing about this. I've heard he's into the dark arts, and yeah, they have a respect for astrology, but they really kind of suck at it in those decisions. You know, just like Kanye West saying, oh, I'm dropping this thing at the Pluto Return on 2/22/22. I'm like, you're not smart. That's not the Pluto Return. And it's a flop. And those truckers decide, hey, we're going to take off 2/22/22 out of California. I looked at the chart, their itinerary. Guess what? They've got things intercepted at the top and the bottom of the chart. I don't see them getting very far. Really dumb. But if you were someone, say, like Nancy Pelosi who came into work on the 21st, the day after the Pluto return, and started a tweet storm. And you're abroad in London meeting with your allies and talking about world alliances and democracies around the world and defending each other. La, 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 la. That has teeth. That's going to work right before the quarter moon. Bad, bad, bad planning, but what do I know? So anyway, so he can't get it off the ground. These are twos. Would you ever, okay, let's say you want to go invade. Would you hire someone? Would you hire an expert in an interview if you could like pull out a card? It's a 2. No. You can have to have some major strong arcana or at least at a 10 here. 9 kind of iffy. No. 2s. He's a freaking dud. And he's got a page, which is the challenge. It's not even a king. It's the Page of Cups. His challenge is some good news. People loving his ideas. So in the third thing, I only have 2 cards. In the third thing he was planning, if we stayed in Afghanistan, but I think we've ruined his parade. Yay! 10 of Cups, we're going to have it all. Far-right nationalists, us people, far-right. But the challenge is, the 7 of Wands, yeah. Having the upper hand in fighting. This is G. Doing the Pluto return, looking at the full moon, G asserted himself as the 7 of Wands, always having the upper hand. Putin was showing as the 7 of Pentacles and the 5 of Pentacles. Because that's how stealth G is. He actually has his prime, is it like a prime minister? That's the guy who's doing all the back channel work with Don Julio, Vlad, in my humble opinion. That's how it showed at Trump Tower and Mar-a-Lago. Please don't buffer. That's the back channel. That guy is the back channel to G. Yeah. How about that? How are you guys doing? That was kind of long. Paisley, wow. Yeah, his days are numbered. Totally. Yeah, Biden isn't playing. He is known. And how about everyone saying, oh, he's bringing hysteria to this. Thank God he did. Thank God he did. Okay, what else? Debsy, some Pennsylvania truckers supposedly got lost, turned around and went home. Yeah, there are some abandoned trucks there out in the Ukraine. Yeah, exactly, Linda Foster. People have not seen the wrath of our president. You guys, he is a Scorpio through and through. There's been a couple of times I have seen that Scorpio flicker in his eye, or kind of the pause, take a deep breath, and the head tilt, like, really? Oh boy, do not mess with that man. Do not mess with him. Hi, Dr. Nancy. Just so missed you. Well, thank you. It's only been 4 days. Okay. So, and I'm going to be out of town this weekend, but I'm going to bring my stuff. We'll see what happens. Okay. Yeah. So, Afghanistan was necessary. Now, the next thing I was asking, okay, so if we had to pull out and we knew it was going to be hasty, would the administration on purpose leave stuff behind to get ready? Because they know the stuff is going to get looted. So, like, the stuff they left behind and, like, the excuse me, hello.
I'm letting him in.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. Good night. Would they leave stuff behind? Hi, puppy dog. That they know is going to get looted, that, these guys are probably going to want to wear is probably like their metal. Like, if you knew that much stuff had to be left and these guys are going to go through it and sift through it, what would you do with that? What would you do with that? And what I was getting was, heck yeah, we left it all and we planned to microscopic, dormant, I don't even want to know if you want to call them chips, but things like that are even so, you can't even see it. I mean, it's like thread, like stitching would have, geolocators in it or something with that. I'm like, would you do that? And of course I got the yes. So that's the next thing I want to see quickly. What did you leave? And what could you imagine? I mean, you've got the Taliban running all over Afghanistan with their crap, with wearing the stuff. I'm the Taliban. Look at me. I'm at this outpost here. Look what I'm wearing. You like my threads? And who are they talking to? Like these are their uniforms because they can't afford them. Why would they not wear that stuff, right? Okay, where's my thing? I don't want to use this, but I will. So, like, that's the other thing because, wow, my head was just going all over the place last night as I was doing this tarotscope. I'm like, holy crap. And that's when I got into so they've been working on this for a while, and I've got like the yes. Since before Obama left office, they knew like the depth of what they had to look at. I think we knew a lot more than we say we knew. And that we would just try to stick it out for you. So, because even General Milley and Joint Chiefs and Blinken, especially Vice President Harris, I think she's like in charge of that part. You guys, she has such important roles behind the scenes. She blows me freaking away managing all this stuff. Okay, so, Tarot, can you show me our stuff that we left in Afghanistan that we knew was going to be looted? There it is. And now that it's out there and you expected them to do what with it? This. I need to write this down because I'm going to forget. Stuff. What you expected them to do with it. And this is what you expected them to do with it. And down here is what you did. What you did. So you're expecting them to take this stuff, and this is what was booby-trapped. And since then, what has this stuff, what have we gathered? What kind of information have we gathered here from this? Well, we have this. We have this. Oh my God. We have this. We also have this. Shall I go on? We also have this. Oh my gosh. What does NATO have? If we were to have tribunals, what does that have? Okay, I'm excited. I haven't seen this yet. Yes, we have to evacuate out of Afghanistan. This is also the card for Mars. Where is Mars on here? Is there Mars? No, this deck doesn't have it. This is the stuff we left behind. We had to leave in a hurry, but I want to know, what does this stuff do since we had to leave? That seems pretty powerful. Is this Trump? Is this Trump Tower? It has connections to Trump Tower. This feels like a honing beacon. Ping, ping, like a home base. Oh, timing, fortunate. We are so fortunate. And those bits of data, data, information, and money in Afghanistan. We had to evacuate that because they wanted to make a new nation. It could also be related to the insurrection. But our stuff we left behind was going to do this damage at will with the right timing and what we got, information. This is our stuff. Oh my gosh. Our stuff was pre-programmed, pre-planned. This is our stuff. They worked so efficiently to get it ready because we expected them to come in and loot the stuff we left behind. Look at all that stuff I can get. What are we going to do with all this stuff they left behind? What a treasure. A treasure chest, really? Okay, so then this is how we booby-trapped it. Oh my gosh. Okay, I just had satellites orbiting Earth going around my mind. You know, this is my Russia-China card, 5 of Cups, because this is more of a Russia thing, a China thing than a Russia. But because when you look at this card, you see a nation across the water. But they're able to cross your boundaries, reversed, you can't see. And when they get into your stuff, they knock everything over, take what they want, and then they exit in a different disguise. So you can't trace them. So whatever we have is embedded with valuable information, the stuff we want to get back as it's pinging. Oh my gosh. So these judgments, this would help us make decisions in the future of what was going on in the future, reversed. And it would keep tabs on them. We would have eyes on the ground wherever they would run around to with their keep and their kill with our stuff. We would have this perpetual suspended, like time suspended to see what they're doing. Okay? So what did we get? What did we get out of that? What does it do? What are we getting from it? Holy crap, this is China. I'm telling you, China is so involved, you guys. China. And their nefarious plans. Undercover. Letting perhaps the Russia take a hit. Be the leader. Oh my God. This magician. This showed up. You guys. Where is it? Okay, magician. The magician showed up. Where is it? The Joint Chiefs. This is what's giving the Joint Chiefs life this week and what they're doing. The magician card embedded, reversed. The tarot for this week had this card too. What else does our stuff do that was abandoned, we left booby-trapped? It could track movement, where things were going. If there's various riots, maybe convoys, disruptions, refugee crises, yeah, we know where you're moving. We also have the devil, ties to Putin and what he's doing, or maybe Putin's bosses. You guys, look at all this. And it would trace back to the star because that is how Ukraine is represented right now. Blue skies, fields of yellow wheat, and the 4 of Cups. The offers. Here you go, try this. Try that data. Try this. This is us. We are able to ping it back and we're like, is it that person? Is it that person? Did you try that? Did you try this? What about this connection? Look at this major arcana. We got 5 out of 6, and then how the process worked. The cups, that information, that evidence that we want so badly. And out of that, it's relevant to NATO because NATO the transnational mafia. It's them Trumps, it's the dictators, it's the families, the autocrats. It is filled up with data without a doubt. I think this is why also everyone is on the same page, because we have all the evidence. Tribunals, anyone? We have the intel. We have the intel that will cover it. Wow, you guys. Wow. How are you guys doing? Oh, thank you, Bonnie. Thank you. Hugs all. Okay, so Nancy Lee, the Ukrainian flag, the blue and the yellow, it represents blue skies over their golden fields of wheat. So that's why I was referencing that. Okay. Marie, is this what the John Durham report is about? No, it has nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that. Okay, so that was that. There, if I can explain this, let me see if I can explain this to you. You know, guys, see, I have all these arrows all over the place. I was freaking out, screaming last night. See, there you go. There's it. I told you, he was the Seven of Swords. President Biden. President Biden is a Seven of Swords. That's who he was, this important first quarter moon. I'm like, he's not, well, maybe he is stealing some information, but he is not stealing anything, and he is not escaping. He has his eyes on the ball with what's going on and the new plan that has been drawn up, the swords, the intelligence, the Seven of Swords. We're on the way to the Eight of Swords, maybe jail and nabbing these guys, okay? So the tarot had this at this quarter moon. No, in the first house of self and identity. This is your wellness. This is your health. He's on his toes. He's got a plan. He's ahead of the curve. So Biden also had this. And then I thought it was so weird. But then when I started asking about social media and satellites and underwater cables, this was the satellites. Okay. So the tarotscope said on the ascendant, I transform and then look to the first house. So satellites, Seven of Swords, beaming information, hands it off, look to the first house. And there's Biden. He's doing something with satellites, you guys. Okay? I was fascinated by the movement of this chart with the astrology cards. Then here, this has to do with messages. So this has to do with your partners. Okay? So this area is saying this, your comms, your agreements, goes over here to either your partner or your opposition. So I'm like looking here, what got passed over to the seventh house with the same card. So for example, who goes from the third to the seventh? The Six of Wands. The Six of Wands in communications, that was the Joint Chiefs. How about that? I'm sorry, I would rather have a prop here. The Six of Wands, the Joint Chiefs had that as their celebration, their victory card, their anticipated victory card. That went over to this area of partners. Libra, the scales of justice. But Putin often identifies himself as this justice card because he's going to put his thumb on the scales of justice and ruin your democracy. So that, there we go. Six of Wands. The Joint Chiefs had this here. In communications. Holy crap, you guys. And it goes here to your partner's reversed for, oh my God, the Afghanistan supply chain that was left behind bugged. And the other card that is with that Afghanistan supply chain that was bugged got the Seven of Swords. Hello, Biden. There's something going on with bugging stuff and satellites, okay? Also, the Lover's card, going from communications to partners is that Lover's card. You guys know what that looks like. Lovers. Down here, communications, Scorpio. This was down, now that's between two nations. This was for cyber. Cyber.gov, our cybersecurity. Cybersecurity has an agreement with our lovers that also, that card goes up to the 7th house, and President Biden has that reversed. So whoever broke an agreement with a democracy or a broken partner, cybersecurity has that information. We also had the Seven of Wands. I've been telling you the Seven of Wands is XiJ. I swear that is him. So enter Vice President Harris. She's got tabs on him. And XiJ likes the Seven of Wands because he thinks he's fighting back. He thinks he has the upper hand, like Facebook. That's my Facebook card because they always know your news feed and what to feed you to keep you suppressed, depressed, and unimpressed. So this is a XiJ card from the full moon or the Pluto return. I can't remember. But anyway, so this Seven of Wands down here where the moon is at this quarter moon, we have 11th house friends here. She had the Seven of Wands here. I am saying this is XiJ. And this said, go to your 11th house friends and networks. Well, I see you over there. And that's because the Seven of Wands was whatever was left over in Afghanistan, that the supply that was bugged. It keeps showing up all over the place. The Seven of Wands is over here in Secrets, Hidden Enemies. Underwater cables. Hello. Hidden enemy. You think China might be cutting those cables? One of you guys sent me the article this week about how there's a Russian boat that was confiscated that looked like a boat that it was cutting underwater cables. The underwater cables are really important. But that is basically what I looked at. Social media, satellites, underwater cables, and look at how crazy they're going. Yeah, General Milley has a plan. The Joint Chiefs. This is military tribunals. Okay. Military tribunals. They're tarotscope if we have military tribunals. What's on the ascendant? What's rising? What's giving life to the chart of possible military tribunals? The 7 freaking swords. The astrology said, first house, hand it off to here, the first house, President Biden. He has information that is getting transmitted for possible military tribunals. So what does that mean? It means we can't just react to what the Russia is doing. They're doing horrific, horrible, horrible stuff. But because this is a war and we have these things called laws, we don't want to push our luck. We don't want to spoil evidence. We don't want to step in to, number one, counter, and intervene to save everything. Because, number one, that's a soundbite. Number two, then they play the victim card. And number three, now that's evidence that can be used against you for like an accidental firing or something going off. We have to stand back, unfortunately, because everybody is seeing the same thing, talking about the same thing, and only one side made a big, gigantically huge mess. And there is zero doubt about it. So we have to be patient. And I am thinking we got to get to March is going to feel better, especially after the State of the Union. And as we get from that first week into that second week, it's like a totally new world. I still see us come April, May, just like, wee, things are going well. But we have to get through this. All right, checking with you guys. How are you doing? Look at all you guys missing each other. It's so cute. I love this. It's so sweet. Okay, I need Sandra. How are you guys doing? MSNBC stated that he's in hiding so as to not be kidnapped or harmed. Yeah, I don't even want to throw cards on him. I just would like Hather help. Hather, are you there? Hathers, can you help? Help our friend, keep him protected, all of Ukraine. I know I said this on the Twitter machine, but I'm officially asking you to help. Help, help, help. Yes. Yes. Oh, whoops, I lost you guys. I'm astounded. Paisley. Okay, I'm going to switch gears here, you guys. Okay. Because I want to have a better grasp on our Pluto return. I'm like, I need to know what was going on around our Pluto return. Because we birthed ourselves by July 4th, 1776. But it wasn't like we just woke up one day, hey, Pluto's here, let's give birth to a new nation. No, a lot of stuff had to be happening to build up to that point. So I have just started listening to this audiobook. I love it. It's written by a woman, so I knew she would have the relevant details that a woman with an eye for history connecting the dots, because you can just tell. She wrote this book 1774, and it actually, the critical time is from December 1773 going into 1775, and what is happening that people are like, whoa, this isn't right. I love it. And again, so many things are parallel right now. So if we look at like the 1774 period, if you want to like equate this to like our 2022, so this is kind of like if you look at 2020 and then you look at 2019, okay, if you want to like a relative time reference, how this stuff is unfolding, it's like the same thing. This period was so incredibly critical. And it had to do with tea. Of course, it has to do with tea. And taxation. But the deal was, and I didn't know this, or maybe it's just been because I haven't studied it in so long, is that as tea was coming over to the U.S., it took like a month and a half for the ships to come over with the tea. Well, they would be delivering ships full of tea up and down the coast. And we're just colonies. And many are still very loyal to the king. They're loyalists. And this tea would come in, but the problem up and down the coast and also in the Caribbean, what is the Dutch island off of the Caribbean? Was it St. Croix? One of those islands. Is that you had smugglers waiting to have their tea put on the ships and bought and sold. And so the smuggled in tea that wasn't taxed was cheaper. And the colonists drank a ton of tea. They, if they were here right now, they would probably be going to Dunkin' and Starbucks all the time, just like the way we drink coffee, they drink tea. They like their caffeinated tea. So the disparity was getting tea for a cheaper price. stuff that was taxed. Well, the king, because they had their 7-year war with France that had to be paid for, they would put the taxes on the colonies, especially like on their tea, to pay for that. They try to institute the stamp tax, which, like merchants and lawyers and were furious because of all the documents that they had to deal with. They would have to pay for the stuff. And that tax not only to pay for that war, but it paid the colonists who were officials who were hired by the king to do their job. So now you have these people in power who are like, yeah, the tax is good. And then you have the people who are like, wait a minute, what's going on? So there's this big thing with the smuggled tea and tea, what is it, the East Indian Ocean tea, whatever. So I am just into this book. And so the thing is now you have people who are suppliers, who are the consignees, who are allowed to sell the tea legally, from Europe. They don't like the smuggled in tea because, listen to this, it would incite insurrection because of the price, and it is your patriotic duty to drink tea from Britain. What this kind of came down to with this whole issue of tea, believe it or not, I mean, like modern people romanticize it. It's about free speech and taxation without representation. It was those consignees, the people who were in charge of selling tea, not listening to the majority to solve this problem, because people would debate these things on end. If it took 2 months for a ship to come back and forth with news, if they got tea that came over, is it taxed or not taxed? What's going to happen? If they had a problem, they couldn't get their news back there, and they couldn't hear back for months on end. So they would have these long debates. They would have a debate. They just didn't have the water cooler a couple mornings during the week. They would debate these things for months on end to make sure everything was kosher. But it wasn't, because now you have the people who can sell the tea who are trying to suppress the language to debate. They're the minority. They're like the businessman who isn't listening to the people and what they want. You're going to do what I say. And if you don't, you're a participant to insurrection. While the one person is akin to a tyrant. Do you see where this is going? And so even though we set up all of these, I forgot what the word is, but so that all the colonies could debate what was going on with the tea, that actually came from a conservative side of politics. We would consider Republicans or the Whig Party, because they wanted to make sure they understood what was going on. So they put these little committees together to debate this stuff about tea, because they have some questions, because this is getting kind of confusing. You know why it was confusing? Because at the time we had Neptune in Virgo. Remember, Neptune is the haze, the confusion, the gaslighting. In earthy Virgo, I love it because Virgo rules over like spices, teas, how you nourish yourself. So as this time period is building up, 1774, they start questioning what's going on with this. Can we get to the bottom of this perplexing question we can't get the answers to? Saturn moved into Virgo at the time. Saturn, authority, burns off the haze, has no time for bullshittery, gets to the essence of things, and it slows time down so you can see what's really going on. And this is getting to be a big, big problem. And the other thing that was going on, so while this is going on, like 1774, we've got Pluto now at like 24 degrees Capricorn, the can't open or eclipse. And it was also at 22 degrees Capricorn, which was the great Saturn-Pluto conjunction reset for us right now. all this turmoil and change kind of within the same amount of time. We're experiencing it now with our Pluto return, trying to get to the bottom of things. What the heck is going on, and being empowered to do so. And not only did we have this, guess what? We had the planet Uranus in Taurus. That's where Uranus in Taurus is right now. It's amazing. It's like we're having a double return, or well, because this takes about 50 years, I think, for Uranus to make its return. So look at all this earthy stuff. I mean, this blew my mind. We had Uranus and Taurus. We're gonna shock ourselves, have a rebellion about what's going on, because Taurus, we really value our money, our things. And the question then, as they're trying to figure out what the truth is, the question comes up of who's in charge here for the colonies? Who's running the show? Who has the authority? And that, I think, is the question. I'm only in chapter 1. That led to our Declaration of Independence and the American Revolutionary War. So it is just really interesting, the parallels. The difference, though, this time around, we do have Uranus in Taurus. We have all this stuff going on in Capricorn. But then in our chart, we have Neptune at 22 Virgo. In 1774, it was floating like around 18 to 20 degrees. Right now, we have Neptune in Pisces, exactly opposite. And I think we might even be in an exact opposition maybe today. I should check that out. Exactly 180 degrees opposite. So we are still having the same questions, trying to get to the truth of the matter, being severely gaslighted, can't figure out where these ops are coming from and this propaganda, because we're so engulfed in it, because it proliferates around the world. And that's Pisces. It is boundless. It's our bodies of water. So it's like we're still dealing with the haze and confusion, the gaslighting, the gross Christian nationalism, the brainwash people. But this is, for us, white supremacy. This is why this is going to get nipped in the bud. That's why. Isn't that totally fascinating? And one thing I was wondering about with our Pluto return was, was thinking, this is going to be a revolution against who's going to lose? The plutocrats. And holy cow. But President Biden hits the oligarchs. $2 trillion in sanctions and freezes their assets. Pretty sure that is Pluto return 1, plutocrats 0 so far, right? Right? How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? Okay, you guys good? Paisley, you made history fun. I did not know I was going to enjoy it. I'm like so fascinated right now with this. The UK never should have left the EU. Well, Boris Johnson and that Brexit, they got Brexited just like we got Donald Trump. Look at all the crap that happened to us. That's what happened with Brexit. There's a lot of people who have said, who voted for Brexit, who have been in tears because they're like, I didn't know what I was voting for. They felt like they were lied to. And look at Boris Johnson. He's people like him. We've seen too many of them that are causing problems, right? Okay. Oops. Okay, so that's it for tonight. I'm glad that we got to check in. I'm glad we got to kind of get up to speed. There's a lot that's been going on. Give each other the benefit of the doubt. Give your readers the benefit of the doubt. We're babies. We're babies. We can only handle so much at a time and we're done. Our bodies are rewiring, readjusting on so many levels. This is going to take time to unfold and adjust. So we just need to keep sending positivity, protection for our president, our allies. You guys, Pootie's done. He's done. They're all done. Okay? Blessings to you, Bonnie. Thank you. Thank you, Deseret. Yes, and please hit the like button. Thank you, J. Jane. Pluto return on asteroids, right? Thank you, Paisley. The daffodils will come and this will go. You guys, I am so excited. I am so excited. Thank you, Debsy. Good night, Holly Coleman. She'll post her updates when we're done. I know, and Boris is still there too. He will not leave. He will not leave. Just like the rest of them won't resign. He is in that group of people. Kenya gave a great pro-democracy speech at the UN. I heard about that, Dr. Nancy. Okay. Love to Lily Coy. Yes, thank you so much. So, we'll talk to you guys later. Hang in there. Be easy. We're going to get through this, okay? We were meant to be here, and we got through the worst of it. We got through the worst of it, okay? There's nothing we can't do, you guys. Have a good night. Okay.